I was gonna say, who's like postdoc level, like, oh god.
No, the technician is really hard for what the university will pay,
That's a good word.
because they don't put around. And it's in Griffin, and nobody wants to live in Griffin.
Oh, yeah. I'll be there just in time.
Okay. So I was worried because we're down to like 2 applicants in the whole, we didn't have that many applicants in the first place, and the other ones, for whatever reasons, did not pan out.
Yeah.
And I'm like, we gotta hire somebody. And we gotta hire somebody who's willing to live in Griffin
Yeah, that's tough.
and is willing to work for the wages that we offer. And is used to working by themselves a lot. But I think we found somebody. I feel really good about him. So
Yeah, it's a hard sell to have someone move somewhere. Is he from that area maybe, or?
I think he's from Gwinnett.
Okay.
So more, around Atlanta, but he said that his fiance was in Beaufort. So I said, you don't have to live in Griffin, you just have to live close enough to commute there.
Yeah. Gosh, that's a long drive.
That's 2 hours from here.
From Atlanta, it's
But
probably an hour.
but the other people that work for me live up to 40 miles away. They don't mind the drive. I mean, I would want to not commute that far, but
it's not really bad traffic, so that's
no, because it's far enough from Atlanta.
Yeah.
How's everybody doing today?
Well, very well.
Good.
So anyway, so that was good news that this person who on paper doesn't really look like he fits the part because he's
Yeah.
a computer scientist, but it turns out he's also a weather nerd. And so there's a lot more interest because we know that they're going to be interested in the product.
Yeah, just like curious about what they're
Exactly.
doing. That's really what you need to be looking for because their curiosity will make them learn how to do it well.
Right. Well, he went to UNG and they don't offer like meteorology classes or anything either. So computer science was probably as good as he could do.
Yeah.
We could have used a computer scientist a couple of years ago, but you know, the way it goes. But I think this person would be good at. Seems to be an introvert, although she was very nervous. I keep saying she because he's transgender.
It's tough.
It's tough.
They always wigged me out. I didn't like using they as a pronoun unless it was plural.
Right.
And then somebody told me, well, just treat they as an unknown.
Mhm.
And as soon as they said that, I was like, wonderful.
Now
Yeah.
it works.
Like now it just computes in my brain now. If
Yeah.
I'm just not sure.
Maybe that don't get me there because I struggle with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just-
That's been tough.
So anyway,
I have a few friends that prefer neither he or she, so it kind of went.
well, I
easily.
finally asked, I said, need to know what to tell the other members of my team.
Yeah. Well, it's polite.
Yeah.
So
I think he appreciated that I
The
asked.
English language has some serious limitations with,
yeah.
with those sorts of things. doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's not very fizzy, Dr. Pepper.
Been sitting
I think it's been sitting
just barely open, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
I've been starting we have to do a canopy analysis every 4 years here, and this is the year. And I was expecting to have a new program called NearMap that Athens-Clarke County is contracting to get like aerial imagery and a bunch of really cool like AI machine learning type stuff.
Uh-huh.
But I don't think it's going to be ready in time. So I've started my own canopy analysis, but I think it's going to be really good. I just found NAIP photography. So National Agriculture Imaging Program. So every year they take really good high-res photos, aerial images, and then they remove all the cloud cover and they geo-reference it for you.
That's nice.
So I've got 2020 and I've got 2023. And
So you can see the changes.
yeah, so I can just do a change detection on the two. But it's been really cool getting it all, fitting them all together because it's a bunch of tiles. So having to
You have
get
to
them
blend it
all
all, yeah.
blended. My computer's working on tiling all the mosaic together right now for 2023.
Unless they can do that.
Yeah.
Imagine if you had to do it by hand.
Oh my gosh. Seth Hawkins, he's at Georgia Forestry Commission. He was one of our interns here. Oh God, probably 10 years ago.
Yeah, I know Seth.
He did all of that by hand.
Hmm.
Yeah, they have like transparencies and they were circling differences and all the old dot grid.
When I took
Strategy.
photogrammetry 100 years ago, oh my gosh, trying to
Yeah.
get all that stuff squared away was a chore.
Well, it's really nice that the computer can just put it all in, on
Plug
top of
it.
itself.
It's been quite some
It's really nice.
But it's okay, we've met before.
Is that
It's been a while, Jeannie. It's been quiet.
that
It's been a while.
data set? That's a statewide thing, or is it national?
National. Yeah, they've got pictures of the entire country.
That would be
They're-
interesting to see what
How
what
free-
happens around the periphery of Atlanta and places like that where there's a lot of development.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of
A lot of
change.
How
change.
frequently do they fly that, or do they provide that coverage?
They try to do it once a year and it's always with leaf on.
Yeah.
So in the summertime.
Oh, natural color, not
They do natural
infrared.
color, but then they also do near infrared,
okay.
which when you put the red and the near infrared as kind of the two bands that they're showing, like it really shows the canopy super
Yeah.
well. So I'm really excited. Today's been kind of a breakthrough day of me working on that. So
It's always nice when that happens.
Yeah. It's like, oh, good, it'll work.
Some days it's like, can't get anything. I was afraid it was gonna be like that today, but it actually worked out
Stay
okay.
busy.
Somehow you end up
Yes.
going backwards throughout the day.
Trying to wrap up the mowing season.
It'll end soon.
Oh, I hope so. They're calling for frost tonight, so that'll put a good dent in it.
Wow.
We're not gonna get
That's
frost.
6 inches of rain, we had gave it a little boost though for a while, didn't we?
They're the false. Oh, you already signed in.
Yeah, I'm doing.
Gary, did you sign in?
Yeah.
Cool.
At the top of the list.
Very nice.
Yeah. Well, I finally got voted.
You
in.
moved from one category to another.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Stepping up in the world.
Now friends with benefits, right?
Well, I don't know what kind of turnout we'll have today. A lot of people said they were coming.
Yeah.
Say that, last time I saw they was.
That was a long time ago.
That was a week ago. Or actually a little more than that.
What about next month? Is
That's also a
Indigenous
holiday.
Peoples' Day a thing?
No, it's a Veterans Day, I think.
Yeah, the next one. is
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm looking at the wrong one.
So
Today
we'll have
is.
to-
Yeah,
We'll have to
yeah,
chat
yeah,
about it
yeah.
anyway.
Monday was indeed. And also, Canadian Thanksgiving.
Yeah, oh, wow. Well, interestingly, Veterans Day used to be known as what, Armistice Day?
Oh,
But that's more appropriate, because that's my wedding anniversary, see, so.
Veterans Day is your wedding anniversary?
Is that between you and your father-in-law? Armistice?
Yeah, maybe it was, I don't know. Probably my mother-in-law.
My father-in-law made my wedding ring, and he used black coral that my dad had gotten from the Red Sea.
Cool.
But then the wood in between it is olive wood. And he thought that was appropriate coming from him to me.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, it's neat. Not just a branch, the whole trunk. The trunk.
Hello. All right, make sure you sign in. Got to know who's here. Even though I have you on video, but you know.
What, the video's money?
Yeah, we're streaming right now. We just aren't recording just yet. Had to check and make sure the stream worked. And I just kept it rolling. Hello. Anyways, yeah, we're relaxed today.
How are you?
Yeah.
Good.
Thanks, Stacy.
How are you?
Good.
Well, I'm just gonna start chatting it up then.
Might as well.
It's like too quiet.
So how many calls have you gotten about the beautiful cosmos that you're planting?
Oh, man. Yeah, Jeannie and I talk about it. I'm not responding anymore. But
Yeah.
I was like, I just don't let folks think, it's fine.
Did y'all hear about that before it was gonna happen at all, or?
No,
Wow.
so no. And there's all kinds of things about it, but no.
You get pushback on that or what?
No, they look beautiful. I mean, they really do look beautiful, but we also have some experience with that and know that unless they come back and cut that at the right time and do the right things, then it will never look as beautiful as it does this year. So that's the problem because they had a contractor come in and the contractor came in and didn't tell anybody what they were doing. And so they mowed down our native plant project with Jennifer Seska, the Botanical Gardens on Millage Ramp, and then I was worried that they had tilled up a lot of our daffodil bulbs.
Yeah.
But really, once I kind of got to the right person in GDOT, they were like, no, it was just a seed. What's that machine called? Like like a seed drill. He's like, I think the daffodils are gonna be okay, but we have yet to see,
Huh.
They went right over the exact locations of all the daffodils. We were in panic mode a little bit,
I
trying.
bet.
That should be shallow enough.
Yeah, that's what we're hoping, but they fired the contractor.
Oh, really?
But
Wow.
they sprayed out the areas first before they seeded them. That's my bigger
They
concern.
spray, they spray. No,
Yeah, so
Hopefully the daffodils were down.
but
by
the
then.
native plants won't survive.
Oh, they're gone.
Oh, the native plants, that's gone. They're gonna actually, the contractor's gonna have to reimburse the botanical gardens for that project, but actually KCCB funded a portion of that project, so. I mean, but it doesn't take away from 3 years of growth, you know, I mean, they killed 3 years of native things, so it's like such a mess, but we do have an advocate within GDOT that's really trying to stand up for this and help us. and-
Nice.
But I mean, it will always be a challenge, I think, the way that GDOT works, it's just the communication channels are so wonky that I don't know.
And
I
they
don't know.
rotate so much.
I mean, they don't even know what to do about the communication channels because the way in which they hire contract labor, or they every 2 years or something. Okay. Yeah.
Official now.
Richard Middleton.
Call the word.
Are we at a quorum? Yeah.
I think for sure.
One shot. Well, I think we can. still
Holly's
call-
coming at, she said halfway, as soon as she got her car from the shop or whatever.
Yeah, we can still call the order, I guess, just not vote on anything.
Yeah.
Chat. Holly has an idea for us to talk. Gary also has a topic for us to talk about.
We also need to talk about MLK Day. It's about that time where we need to submit a project. I know that it seems early, but once we get into like.
It's a long lead time.
The application comes out, I think, in November, and so there's this application period.
November 14th, I think is the deadline.
Yeah. And, yeah.
Which if we can't vote on doing it this meeting, we'll absolutely have to vote on it next meeting. So we should talk about it this meeting.
So if we have a quorum this meeting, we should vote on it this meeting.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay, so today, talk about Gary's, Holly's, and then we'll talk about MLK. We have service. We don't have to do it in that order. We could do MLK right now.
Well, okay, yeah, we can talk about it. I mean, like, does anybody have any ideas of a planting site, which is traditionally, or another idea for a project, which is traditionally what we do is planting?
Does it have to be planting?
It is not.
Can it be tree saving?
It's just service, really.
Yeah, any sort of service. I mean, we could do young tree pruning. I like to always remind when we have these projects coming up that our mission as an organization is mostly to provide education to the community. And so I've always encouraged everyone to provide some sort of educational content in addition to whatever service project we're going to do. So in the past, we've always taught how to properly plant a tree as our service project and then plant trees in addition to that, but the main focus is on the educational component. And in past years, we've also spread mulch as one of our service projects. So that's an option, but we could do, I mean, really anything.
We could do a tree saving project out at Sandy Creek Park to get rid of the wisteria out there on that back stretch. That would be educational. So
Yeah,
this is what kills trees.
we could do an invasive ID and removal project. That's a great idea.
Yeah, I like especially the invasive ID because
yeah.
wisteria and trumpet vine can so easily be confused. And I'm not really worried about trumpet vine, but wisteria definitely. But yeah, I think that's a great idea.
Talk about the new ordinance.
Well, it ties in well with the new ordinance.
We don't want the county to get cited for their invasives.
That would be interesting.
Where specifically at Sandy Creek is that?
So after you cross the dam, just as you kind of head up there off to the left and the right, pretty much where the Cook's Trail goes off to the right, there's just lots and lots of wisteria and it's pulling down trees. And it's just right there on the side of the road, so it'd be real easy to get to.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good site too.
So this is the park we're talking about.
Yeah.
I might also mention Bear Hollow Zoo, I think is really overrun with wisteria and English ivy.
Oh, that's a good one.
A lot of those trees are struggling. Leisure Services is always, I mean, they're kind of understaffed to really be taking care of invasives removal. So that might also be a good option.
Is it in the bear's den? Cause Sean will go in there.
If we need to fight a bear, then Sean will be the one to do it. I mean, it's really just in the common area, like right as you walk in, there's just tons of wisteria to your left and English ivy on the ground. There's a bunch of the stuff when you walk in that's being, climbed over by wisteria. So I just realized that because I was there yesterday doing a bunch of resistograph stuff.
That sounds like a good MLK Day project.
Yeah, because it's very
You can do
public.
it before and
Because
after.
everybody knows where the zoo is.
Yeah,
There'd
you
be
know,
a-
like, I think it's more like centrally located and a lot more accessible to like the whole population.
Yeah, I like that idea.
Nobody would have to pay to get in. You know, because Sandy Creek, people would have to pay to get in, get their car in.
Is it mostly English ivy or is it
Wisteria. English
wisteria?
ivy, mixed
You know, because you also have to think about the amount of work involved because like a lot of like that kind of removal is really just cutting and you know,
Letting it die.
letting it die. I mean, we don't want volunteers painting with glyphosate. So
Yeah.
it would just be cutting and you could do that in like, depending on how many trees it is, very short period of time. If there's like privet out there though, that's a totally different.
It's gonna be my house to cut down.
Yeah, you
There's
know,
not
we have,
much privet, they feed most of that privet to the deer in the zoo.
yeah, that's true. So you kind of have to think about the scale of the project because we're gonna have potentially 30 to 50 people out there with kids and, you know, wanting to achieve something on that day.
That parking lot fills up.
Yeah, it does.
That's not a big parking.
Yeah.
So remind us what, you know, like I worked on your MLK Day site at Beach Haven a while back, right? Can you describe like what our project was there that day?
Pretty much every MLK Day, I've done some kind of invasive removal project. And I've got an herbicide license and that I think it's kind of a gray area in the law that I can supervise volunteers using glyphosate. But the county's been okay with it in the past, but to describe it, we just, I don't remember Beach Haven. Was that the litter project last year?
So you know, like,
couple of
right, exactly. So you know, like the Beach Haven Baptist Church, you know, like that.
Yeah.
And there, I think there was both was it a planting project in addition to the?
Oh.
Just invasive
A bunch. There was
Was
also
that-
like a
was that not
litter.
you?
It started out.
Well,
with
I've
litter
done
removal.
several there,
Yeah,
but yeah. Yeah, I think we divided up that day. There were some people, Mike had brought out some bare root saplings, which all died. And I was clearing, ivy, I mean, not ivy, but, Euonymus fortunii, winter creeper out of the trees that day with cut and paint back in there.
So would it be something like that? You know, like
Yeah, if there is enough to cut, you know, if we,
At Bear Hall, we've already gotten the big vines out of the trees. It's mostly little stuff going up trees and a whole lot of them around.
Would there be more at Sandy Creek? Would it be worth trying to ask the park if they would
Yeah.
have free admission for that
Oh,
day?
yeah, they'd be happy to let us in. But yeah, I would, those trees, I'm just gonna go
I'm just
find
thinking,
myself
like,
if it's something.
If they get a lot of help removing.
Yeah, there's no
invasive-
reason for them to charge people who are coming to help.
No.
Yeah.
Right.
Like Rivers Alive volunteers going for free
Okay,
in the past.
Yeah.
cool.
so maybe Sandy Creek would be a better site for that.
There'd
Yeah.
be more parking for sure.
And especially if it's large vines that are going up into trees, you know, then it's at eye level to
Yeah.
cut. It's not really tough for people to get down on their knees and be pulling stuff.
Yeah.
It's way more just user friendly.
And I'm sure there's privet out there too.
Yeah.
Well, it is important, I think, if you're doing something, and you're using volunteers for the community, that it's something that they can look at and see a difference too. And
Yeah.
if these are sizable vines that you have.
Oh, yeah,
Never.
and you can see
You
that
know.
there's dead trees on the ground that are still wrapped up in the vines, so you
Yeah.
can
It's
go
a shame that it won't be in leaf at that time because that would be more effective.
Right.
Or even with the purple blooms on it, that'd be.
And if with the wisteria, if there was a hesitancy or whatever to not have volunteers using herbicide, you could have the volunteers just cut the vine at a comfortable height and then
You go on
somebody
that.
can come and just leave it do the
Come
cut.
back and do it, I mean, after.
Or
volunteers
even the next
leave,
day.
slide,
Yeah.
whatever.
Tree council members, like,
Yeah.
you know, not just the general public, but people who are familiar. Yeah.
Especially if you have the Daub, the dauber
Yeah.
rigs that you've shown me. I mean, it's really just like a little medicine bottle with almost like a paint tip. And
A
you just-
merino wool durable tip.
It's highfalutin.
Would you feel confident and comfortable giving it like a talk ahead of time about invasives and?
Try and stop me.
Okay.
Twist his arm.
Because again, I think that the educational component is equally as important as
Yeah.
the removal component.
Once they see it there, then they'll see it everywhere. maybe.
Exactly,
Yeah.
yeah.
And something you could include would be what the plant looks like when it first comes out of the ground, so it's when it's easy to pull and catch before it's invaded.
This will be in March,
Oh,
right?
No, it's
So
January.
MLK is
Oh, it's
January.
January.
oh, no.
The 20th, I think, this year.
So it will be still winter.
Yeah. But I mean, creeping vines and privet, honeysuckle, those are all pretty obvious at that time of year, so.
Definitely honeysuckle.
uh,
Well, we probably can provide books to show what they look like when they're leaved out too. Cause I think I've got some at home.
Some sheet, or
Yeah,
even
some
some
sheet.
sheets of, you put the plant down on Xerox and.
I bet the university probably has, fact sheets on invasive species that could be provided.
And it would be pretty easy to talk about the trumpet vine and the wisteria, because like trumpet vine climbs by coiling and trumpet vine climbs by little feces. And the bark looks real different. And we could probably find some trumpet vine out there, but
Okay.
Yeah,
If we scoped it out ahead of time, then you'd know right where to bring people to.
no.
yeah. Well, Sandy Creek sounds like a good option. I guess maybe in the meantime, we should look and find the exact spots, take some pictures and while it's still green. Because then next summer we could take another photo, have a before and after live shot maybe. I'll be out there here probably next week at some point, so.
Yeah, I'll probably be out there within the next week.
Depending on the frost between now.
You're right.
Maybe a race, yeah.
I'll probably go out there tomorrow.
I'm not sure we're gonna get frost. It may just be down in the upper 30s.
So tentatively, we can say, I guess, Sandy Creek, we can chat about it a little bit more, but I think that's a good start. Cool.
Let's hope we have a quorum in November.
Oh, it'll definitely happen. And actually, speaking of, maybe we should discuss our November meeting right now. Because, usually we do it on the second Monday of each month. But it's gonna be Veterans Day.
Is that a national holiday?
I think
Like
so.
no mail delivery, et cetera?
Yeah, I think it is national. So we could always do maybe, well, I'll go ahead and say I can't do the first Monday of November. I'll be gone. But maybe we could do the third Monday of November because we don't have a December meeting. Typically, we usually just kind of have a get together. So the third Monday might be best for
What's the
y'all.
date on that?
The 18th.
Be the 18th, and that is during the week prior to the week of Thanksgiving, so there's not a.
Oh, good, so it's
No
not the same week,
conflict.
right? Oh, perfect,
And it's better for me because it's not the second week.
maybe, good, okay. So, does anyone have an aversion to that date? Maybe we should ask that. Does anyone have any?
It actually works better for me.
Alright.
The 16th, I think is, wait,
Today?
no, that you're talking about the 18th, right?
Yeah.
Where we're at.
Yeah.
So that's 11, 18. Guess maybe we should just tentatively say that, and I can send an email out with like a doodle poll. To see if anyone else is vehemently opposed. Sound good?
And then the month after that, we usually have the Christmas party.
Yeah. Which we could talk about now, or we could wait until the November meeting.
Does anybody want to volunteer their home? Cause last year was at Mary Songster and the 2 years before that was Mary Attaway.
Hmm.
That person wants to volunteer their home.
Yeah.
We can have it at my house, but I don't have a lot of indoor space.
I was gonna say we could do it at
We
my
can,
house.
we can go back and forth between our houses.
Two houses.
Do y'all live close together?
Like right around the corner from each other.
We could do like a sip and stroll, you know?
Right. Speaking of, did we miss, did you already?
No,
This-
no,
Okay.
I didn't do it.
You didn't? Okay.
I'm still waiting on the sign.
Oh, okay.
So I'm holding off, but I think maybe November it might happen.
Okay.
But we'll see. We shall see. If nothing else, definitely in January, it'll be going by then.
Okay. Oh,
So.
nice.
All right, so November 18th possibly. December meeting. Possibly,
Yeah, I'd be willing to. What date are we looking at? Actually, let me.
I think
Let's recommend.
it's like Monday, the 9th of December.
Okay, I'm out of town through the 7th, so maybe if we could do it just a little bit.
yeah, we don't necessarily have to have it on, second Monday of December. We could do it on a different day. If Mondays,
Seems like the third Monday is trending toward our regular
Right.
meeting time.
that's the 16th.
That works for me.
I think that should work for me.
Sure.
December 16th.
16th. Cool, liking the third Mondays.
So the meeting would be not here. It's like
It's a,
It's
it's
like
a
a
holiday
party.
party. So.
party.
Yeah, we're not doing any voting.
Potluck.
Okay, got it.
No video.
Yeah, no video taping.
Strictly off the record. Sunshine.
If I took off that week.
No storms that week.
I'll work on it.
Oh, you're the one controlling the weather.
That's what they all think.
Keep that in mind.
That's what they all think.
I knew it was either the heat island effect of Atlanta that pushed Helene over, so the eye went over us, or if it was Pam. I wasn't sure.
I mean, scientists don't know because the Hurricane Center does not release all their model information.
Huh?
They have some proprietary private models.
Wow.
And the public models had it farther to the east, but they used the private models and that pushed it farther to the west. And so now that's going to be a subject of, I'm sure, journal articles in coming years.
Huh.
I think there's just something special about Athens that
Yeah,
makes.
bubble.
I'll tell you, I'm glad that we didn't get hit like Augusta got hit. My gosh,
Yeah.
it was awful.
The rain, there was this hail around Athens that with the least rain of.
Yeah, I mean, we
all
still
winter.
were without power for
Pretty
22
uniform.
hours, but we didn't have any of our trees in our backyard go down, thankfully. Yeah.
Our power didn't even go off.
Yeah, ours was off for 22 hours.
Very nearly.
For 22 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, the guy.
From 4:30 in the morning until 2 the next morning.
I understand.
How many days? No.
I think ours was from 4 o'clock Friday morning until sometime before lunch on Sunday.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
It was a 36-inch oak, red oak that took out
Oh,
our.
I heard something about the magnolias over
No, so the two magnolias that are closest to the intersection at the varsity,
Yeah.
those are staying.
Okay,
But they have started removing the other trees.
okay, because somebody was panicking about the magnolias.
I drove by there this morning and the magnolias are still there and they do seem to have accurate tree protection.
Well, they actually required, well, the plan stated that they were gonna have like chain link fence, not just the tree protection fencing. And they do, they've got full on chain link fence around it.
But they're just gimme trees. They're not counted. They're just,
They don't count as.
if they
conserved
survive, they survive. If they don't, they don't. But are they going to do anything special with that? I was trying to remember. Are they going to?
They hired, Alex Ferguson, I think, to do the remediation work and like new, or maybe it was him, or maybe it was New Urban Forestry.
I think, Joe was initially enlisted with, WNA.
Ah, that makes sense.
So I don't know if that's fallen down, so
I-
picked up.
I knew, right?
Cause I saw, Preston out there not that long ago with the new guy, so I think it may be New Urban,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, they're trying a lot with the tree. They want to save them and keep them healthy, but because they're not really providing this, what we would typically require for those critical root zones. Because of that, we're not counting it as conserved canopy, just as more or less they're just keeping it for the community, just to save face, I think. So
They're like, we'll try.
I think they're gonna do well.
I honestly, the tree protection fencing was, I felt like they did an okay job.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, those are massive magnolias,
Yeah.
so to give them the actual critical root zone of what you measure as the diameter, it would have been huge. So I think they'll do all right. Hopefully.
Probably, yeah.
But yeah, people will be talking about it a lot here in the next week or two, probably.
So then all the oaks around it that were kind of.
There's four. So there's the two magnolias.
Yeah,
And then if you walk the length of the village to the other end,
uh-huh.
there's a little, probably
It's like 3 inch, 4
3 inch, 3 inch and 4 inch oak. And then there's a larger oak, which
Yeah.
is maybe in the 20s.
Yeah.
And you'll see the tree fence around those.
Oh, okay.
So they're taking
That's-
down the buildings.
Everything else will be
They have-
taken down except for the back corner by the theater, or I think of it as the theater, whatever it is.
Oh,
By the Memphis Institute or no, whatever.
Stovall
Yeah.
or still.
But it's like if you go further down the road, there's a lot of pecans and stuff. Yeah, they'll be planting a lot more. That was the big back and forth with WNA, and WNA, obviously the owner, was to get them to provide more space for street trees along Village. If I recall, we went back and forth on that one a good bit.
Rick and I walked that property as well, looking
It
at.
was like, that's one of those like 7 revision.
Yeah.
plans.
Right, I remember
Um,
that.
There's a lot.
But yeah, so that should get some trees. The Atlanta Highway side or West Broad side, will get some trees, but they'll be smaller. canopy
There's
versus
just not much
those.
space.
There's not.
Is it mixed use? What, I can't remember. Mixed
Yeah, there's
use.
gonna be a hotel, a Publix will be wrapped,
Yeah.
or a Publix will wrap a parking deck, I believe, as well as housing. But yeah, that'll be the big downtown Publix. That'll be
Wow.
the big deal.
It's gonna be a full-size Publix?
No, it'll be smaller.
I was gonna say, there's not really enough,
Big as a.
yeah. Right.
It'll be, yeah.
Well, it'll be big for the people that live there, 'cause
Okay.
it's a grocery desert.
Yeah, it totally is for the people there and,
Yeah.
housing communities there.
So they're required to plant more trees because they were unable to meet their conserved canopy,
Mhm.
unable to. And so they will be planting more trees, but more trees on less space.
Interesting.
We went back and forth with them a lot on their
There
choices.
were tears at WNA at one point.
It seemed
Tears.
like it, yeah, they were upset
Yeah, we were
me a few
bullies.
times.
So we
Did you not like what they were choosing?
Yeah, But I was, they were trying to do like columnar trees, like super, super close together. And I was like, guys, I mean, that's not really canopy,
It's the Atlanta engineering team, just for the record. It's not the local Athens team.
Your husband
Oh,
was not on the call.
My husband was not on the
okay,
He was
good,
not on
right, good. Okay.
His boss may have been on the call. He was-
Yeah.
So if you see a lot of columnar trees going in, that may have been, early on, plans passed before us. We've been trying to move away from that some, but for example, the new East Side Kroger will have some columnar trees in the parking lot. It's not ideal. That plan came through right as we were starting these positions, but we are trying to move away from that a little bit.
Is that our quorum?
That is our quorum, indeed.
So now we can vote,
The
right?
quorum has showed up.
No more columnar trees.
Yeah.
Well, the original plan did not include keeping the magnolias, right? I mean, that was originally.
Right, that was originally, they were gonna take those out.
Yeah, so
And I think people got upset.
come a long way.
Yeah.
I did, and some of those pecans are really nice.
Yeah.
Should be interesting to see it go on. It's just so tough to see all the trees just like mutilated and just like branches ripped off of them. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, golly.
Did you just remove it?
Take it down.
Stack it down
They
instead of
did
mutilating
that
it
on
first?
Old Lex where, where there's all these old Bradford pear, which they probably ought to just take down, but they're cutting half of it out because of the wiring and they're building new houses there. I just like, why just take them down? Cause they break down anyway and they're old, so they're really fragile.
Yeah, that's a tough one. Trees fell, you're just kind of, wow. Boom, boom, boom. It's done.
Out of the varsity?
That won't be coming back in my lifetime.
Out of the varsity?
C'est la vie, yeah, and Dodge, I think, got it right.
Now that we have a quorum, maybe we can approve minutes from last meeting? Is that okay?
Sure, yeah. Do we have a vote has everybody had a chance to review the minutes from the last meeting?
Were sent out through email. I'm sure everyone read them.
Of course.
So I have a motion to approve the minutes from last meeting.
I'll move that.
Thank you. Thank you. Anybody not in favor? Cool, done.
How about all yays? Raise your hand.
Oh, come on.
He wants to
That
make
would
it
be
official.
unanimous. Look at that.
I sent the treasurer's report. The only difference was 83 cents of interest on the money market.
I don't think we have to
I don't
take,
think we have to approve that.
do we have to?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Oh,
I think it just goes in the minutes.
something we need to add to the list to talk about is we have to plant at the Welcome Center in the planting season. So we need to make a
Yes.
plan for that.
Yes, that's a very good thing to mention, Jesse. Thank you.
This is with
Do we need
Bryn
to vote on the
Allen.
MLK?
Yeah.
What?
Do we need to vote on the MLK or not?
I don't think we have
Okay.
to yet,
Fine.
but it's good that we talked about it.
We
I think
will
we
have to
should.
vote on it next meeting.
Yeah, we will.
I just was thinking, since we have a quorum.
To go ahead and knock it out.
So Jesse, you mentioned the Marianne Hodges. Is it Hodges or Hodgson?
Hodgson.
Trees. Um, I'll reach out to Select Trees and go ahead and get the quote from them. They'll be starting to dig here pretty soon, I think. And also talk to John Michael, who's our building supervisor here. Get him on it as well. Noticing January or February would be the time. So we got a little while longer, but
Let's plan for February since we're doing MLK Day in January.
okay.
It'd be on Arbor Day then?
Yeah, it's about.
That's a great idea.
Do it, Lordy.
I think that would
Little, like,
be a good idea.
little. You remind me how many trees that was? Is it just one tree or is it?
Our obligation is to plant at least one tree like as a memorial.
Right, that's
And we're
what
gonna
I-
do a plaque. The money will cover more than that, but
Right.
that's our promise to them.
Right, I
is
could
that
remember if it was
we-
one or multiple.
But we could plant more that day.
We'll have to look at the space and just see if it can fit it. I know it can fit one, but, John Michael and I should go and walk the property together and just make sure everything's good.
And we decided on a Georgia oak, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think would do well in that area. Signs, plaques.
Yeah, we need a plaque.
Who have we used in the past?
I have ordered from just an online retailer.
Okay.
They're not that
So-
expensive.
Yeah, there's a sign place that's on Chase Street by where the kind of car wash is.
Oh, yeah, I get them to make trophies.
Trophies, but they do plaques.
Yeah,
On Chase Street.
College trophy.
yeah, Athens Trophy.
Yeah. Trophy.
Yeah. They do a good job.
near the school, across from the school?
No,
It's like further down like past the loop and then.
Outside the perimeter and the little.
Like where the car wash
I
is.
think that's
Okay.
about $700 for the Moon Tree plaque.
are you serious? $700?
Why was it $700?
That Moon Tree plaque was $700.
That's why.
That's why.
I didn't say, hey.
But I mean, was it on, what,
What was it made
what was the
of?
material?
Diamonds.
That's metal.
No, right?
But I mean, but it's raised, it's color, it's,
Yeah.
It sounds fancy.
yeah.
I mean, I've had them,
This isn't just a pretty, it's raised relief, it's on, I mean, I'm just saying that, I'm just an approximation, that sign was 700.
Yeah.
Cheaper, but that one was.
cause I think I've had them, I had a metal sign made for, a tree we planted that was like $30. I mean, it was really not, and it looks nice. I mean, it had.
Oh, I'm not saying it,
Yeah.
no, I'm just trying to give an association
We've
of.
got a good range though, between 30 and 700, somewhere in there. Yeah.
There's a difference between like the old historical markers you used to see all over the place. It's bronze, almost like it's got a leather grain to it
Mhm.
with raised.
Yeah, this is got.
round off. I mean, those things are.
Then they get stolen for scrap.
expensive. Yeah.
Oh.
You need to anchor it well, that's for sure.
When y'all did the Moon Tree plaque, did you have like facilities pour the concrete for the post or anything?
We did everything that is concreted in,
Okay.
because it's not going anywhere.
Moon tree, is that?
The Moon Tree at Doherty Street,
is
the
it a
pine tree.
It's a pine tree.
It's pine.
It's one of the seeds went up in space,
Oh,
right? 'Cause there's websites about the moon trees.
It's a wonderful loblolly pines. I heard we had a sycamore for a while at the botanical
Oh.
gardens, but it died.
Oh.
It was a moon tree.
The one on Dirty was not on the official list,
That's interesting.
Really,
really.
Huh.
get on them about that.
I wrote him once and I said, this should be on it, but I never heard back.
We need to demand that it be put on.
Maybe it's because I'm just a private citizen or something.
We'll try to get my bona fides on it. Tell them, hey, I am the forester. Put it on the list.
You can check.
So, let's see here. So yeah, that would be a good Arbor Day event. It's near downtown too, if we're doing it at the Welcome Center.
And then like for Arbor Day, like, don't we have to do like a
Mute. Needs to proclamation. Right.
Julie, what's your champion tree?
It's the Georgia oak.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
National, right?
Yes.
Wow.
Because it was put in a garden rather than eking it out on a granite top, you know?
little off-site,
What?
little off-site.
Right. And it's got some good limbs, and I hope it is showing its age.
Does it get a plaque?
It doesn't have one.
That were planted.
Yes.
If you're out by Dairy Queen on 29 North out by the Waterleaf, like take a ride at the liquor store. If you drive back on that road, there's an 84 inch willow oak.
Whoa.
It's a monster.
It sounds as big as the one that was at the Linden House.
Is
maybe.
that how big it
Oh.
was? Yeah.
So which,
I don't know.
so like when you pass
Pictures
the
of
liquor
that
store,
tree right before it was taken down.
No, just keep on going straight. So liquor
It
store,
was gorgeous.
keep going straight, and then there's a new apartment complex.
oh, okay.
And then right as there's a gate right before you go up the hill. It's right to the right. You
So
can't
you
miss it.
see
You
it
can see the canopy. It's like
Can you see it from 29?
you can't see it. Well, you might be able to. I've never looked. You know, your eye might catch it, but you can certainly see it. Once you get down that road, you won't. You know, it's huge.
Mhm.
Its canopy just kind of comes out. It would look even more impressive, but there's privet around there. It's kind of wet around there, but it got saved, which is awesome.
That's great.
It's right on the edge of the conserved canopy, so that's a stroke of luck.
I don't think they even used like landmark status for that tree to